Alright guys, today we're going to do a video of the Wuben G5 and the Thrunite T5. Obviously Thrunite came out recently. A lot of companies are trying to copy the G5. And I will first say, these lights aren't my favorite style of lights, but they're good to have. I say good to have at least one of them. But I think I already know after playing around with them a little bit that I know what one I like better. But we'll see. We'll see. So there's the G5 box here. 400 lumens. The Thrunite has 500. Yeah, it doesn't even say. I think like 530 or so. But we'll just kind of go through the box here. Easy carry light. There we go through some of the specs. Obviously the Wuben is a better box. They put more time and detail, but it is a little trickier to get the crap out, But you guys can kind of pause and read that. There's the Thrunite. Just kind of like a plain and simple box. Oh, they're 523 lumens. Does that make a difference? We will see. All right, so here's everything you get in the box. Even the Wuben, oh, it's a pain to get that stupid box back together. Even though it's better, but it's kind of annoying. So we do get some better accessories. We get like a key ring in there. Looks like a type A to C cable and a lanyard. If you guys can see that, definitely is more stuff in the box, especially, the Wuben's a little cheaper too. Or the sale price is like 20 and then 24. I think I paid a little less. We get the manual here. So to go through all the stuff. And the one is a little harder to operate. But yeah, you get the manual. Through that you get another key ring. Because these are they're like Zippo size flashlights. Some people might put them on a keychain, but it's too big. For me, that's what she said. So you get the key ring, USB A to C, probably not even, not branded, but it's budget. And we get the manual. So it's to go through all the run times, everything, the IPX rating, beam distance, etc. We all know that. So we'll take a look at the Wuben first. I think the Wuben, I think they're pretty close to the same weight. The Wuben does, I think it's a little bit, maybe a little bit slimmer, but we get the Wuben G5. So we got the lock. Press 1, that's the light, and then fully open it. USB-C charging, and you can see like there's two detents. We get the 180-degree rotatable head. Power switch, obviously, but when it's all the way back, it's locked out. We get the pocket clip, which, yep. We get the pocket clip so you can rotate it. It's kind of dumb, but I'm just going to leave it like that. But you can obviously put it back here. But it doesn't really lock. That's the thing sometimes Wuben tries to do too much. But you get the regular white light and I was going to say USB, but the RGB. Your mode switch. But the Thrunite's more traditional. We get the USB-C cover. It's good, obviously. It's 2026, so they all need USB-C charging. We get the pocket clip. Yeah, this is a little pain to get in there. We get the pocket clip, but it's a tip-up carry. We get the mode switch, lockout, white light, boom, Boom, boom. So the second one's RGB, for the first one's white light and lockout. You get the 180 degree rotatable head, which it is tougher. So some people might like that, some people might. White light, RGB. So this one has, I think, 7 colors. I gotta relook at the manual. This one has 3, literally red, green, blue. You get magnet. That has magnets too. But I mean, these lights are good to have, at least one of them. You know what I mean? Or at least a light with like a 90 degree head, because you never know when you need it. Especially if I don't drive, but if you drive or something, you might want one with a 180 degree head. You can plop it, you know, on your hood or by you, and then, you know, if you're changing a tire, boom. And there you can put the lanyard. It's kind of a big loop there. You can almost fit like a paracord, probably. I don't have any, but you could probably fit that. All right, we'll go through some of the specs here. So it does not say what kind of LED the Thrunite has, but it just says the TIR optic. The weight is 65 grams, USB-C charging. Turbo is 523 lumens, so 123 more than the Wuben. High is 158, medium is 65, low is 4, and Firefly is 0.2. So really nice. You know, low is just a little higher, but could low be a little higher than the 4? Yeah, but it's all right. We got the red light is 21 lumens, the green is 32, and the blue is 4.6. And the max beam distance, we got 83 meter, 1,750 candela, 1 meter impact, and then IPX6. So definitely not the best IP rating, but it is what it is. All right, from lockout, press and hold to go through all the modes. So it's going to go through, it's going to have mode memory, I think, except turbo. Yeah, because most lights don't do that, which, you know, it doesn't bother me too much. Press and hold for the Firefly, which is really sweet, 0.2. Then switch over one more to the RGB. So it's literally that. Double click for the strobe, like the cop light. I think it just has the cop, yeah. But I notice sometimes mine will glitch. Let's see if it, see. It does that sometime. I think even the red. See, and then I'll do it. Maybe it has to wait a little bit, but if you guys have that same problem, let me know, because kind of weird. But luckily, easy operation, which I like. You know, it's kind of, I think it's a good looking light too. The pictures kind of make it look a little cheap, you know, Thrunite. You know, they kind of getting modern-ish looking, but I think it looks good. There's the Wuben. The Wuben might look better to some people, but to me, I think, I mean, I like both, but plus the Thrunite, you know, you get a bigger head too. So that is good for heat dissipation. Obviously, these will not have the best because it, you know, it's not connected to the body. Even though the Thrunite's closer, but yeah, so that is the Thrunite. And then we'll open the port. These should be pretty much fully charged, but they have, you know, small batteries, so they will not last. You can see the red is charging. It should go the blue when it's done. Yeah, it's just charging at 1 watt right now. So we got the Wuben to operate it. Just do the one click, which I do wish it was, the detent was stronger. Press and hold for 1 second will give you the battery level indicator. So the blue, where it was at, it was like 40, below 40% to 15. If it's half red, it's 15 or below. Half blue, is 90 to 40, and fully blue is 90%. So I barely used it and it's already red. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll go through the operation. Obviously, press once for the white light. You got the scroll wheel to go through. Then if you have it, because I double click for turbo there, if you have it lower, double click for turbo, double click to get back. Boom. Because if you double click the turbo and then one click, it shuts it off. Which a lot of time I forget that. And some people don't like these wheels, which we'll talk about that later, but we still get the 90-degree head. The Wuben's a little easier. You know, some people might not like that. I'd say the Thrunite feels better, but the pocket clip, yeah, don't like it. But from on, you press and hold to keep switching between, you know, white light, RGB, and you use the scroll wheel. You know, luckily it's not going through like different variations, so you can pick your mode, because some of them are hard. If they have like the side light, you know, if they're doing too many colors at once, but I think most of us will keep it at the Rojo. Which I do. I like RGB, even though I might not use it all the time, but I just like it, you know. I'm an RGB fan. I'll probably keep it like green or red. And then double click for flashy. And then each mode will have a flash. So purple, double flash. Then from off, you can double click to go to the police one. Red and green, so the Christmas theme. And then like red and yellow. And then the red and blue. Double click red and green, red and yellow. And since we got on the RGB, I should say that the RGB light is 10 lumens and the beacons are 10. So they're definitely not the brightest in the world, but I mean, it's okay. The red flash is 10 lumens also. They're all 10 lumens. And this has 1,681 candela. So obviously both of these are pretty close to the same shit. So they're going to be floody. 1 meter impact, IP65, 53 grams. So I think this one is a little bit lighter. So press and hold to get to the white light. So it's the 2 to 400. And see, sometimes it just jumps up high. It says stepless, but there's steps, so I don't really get that. That's why it's kind of, see, it's like boom, boom, boom. So it's not really stepless. But I think it's best to kind of keep it lower, in my opinion. Then double click for the turbo when you need it. That's probably what I'll do. But like I said, I don't really carry these lights too much. They're just good to have around the house. It is winter, so I should be carrying, you know, if I'm with the wife, if she's driving. But yeah. We'll open it up for the charging. It is red like we said earlier, so it's going to be blue when it's fully. And it is charging at 2 watts, so a little bit faster, but it must be lower. You know, these have very small built-in batteries, so you can't do too much about that. That's why I keep them, you know, on the lower modes when possible. Obviously, that goes with any light. Try to conserve your battery. If you like both of them, do you like one? Do you want one? You know, they're budget lights. The Wuben usually has been cheaper. The Thrunite should fucking be cheaper because they're the cheaper brand. But yeah. So I'd probably wait to get this for 20. I mean, 25 bucks. It's not bad, but it is built good. from the outside. Yeah, there's just another quick look. Yeah, I guess, yeah, the Wuben does feel a teensy-weensy bit lighter. All right, we're going to do some beam shots of the Wuben G5 and the Thrunite T5. So I think we're just going to go here. You know, these aren't that bright, so I'm just going to go probably a couple spots here. But it is a little windy. I got the mic on the wind reduction, so hopefully it's not bad. But I think I should be able to do a couple walkdowns, maybe one, we'll see. But we got the Wuben on the lowest. It is on. And this I'm just going to probably do once, maybe. And then the Thrunite, if I could shut this off. Obviously the Thrunite much lower for the moonlight. All right, we're going to do the beam shot comparison here. So I'm not going to do any of the RGB modes. I might do some, but we'll see. But I'll just run through the Wuben here first. It is on the lowest. And I'll try to go up like each step here. So it's like a big jump, you know. Boom. So I don't know what lumen levels these are, obviously. It doesn't say. That's the next one. And it went up a little bit. See, it just sometimes goes up a little bit. And that's max. It'll flash once, but I already got it to max, so that's why I flashed again. So there's the 400. So this is the lowest. It's the second mode. So this I could definitely walk around with. Perfect. You guys can see it's a lot of flood. And that's high. And if you press and hold it, or if you hold it again, it's going to go to low. But you can double click, boom, for turbo. So I think you guys can definitely tell it is brighter. 100, what was it, 123 lumens more. All right, now we'll just do turbo for both. The Wuben first. So it barely has a hot spot. The Thrunite. So you can definitely see a difference. Floody, better hot spot, better color. I keep forgetting. You gotta press it on and then double click. There's the Wuben. Doesn't have as much throw, obviously, if you guys can see way back there. Boom, the Thrunite. So I'm going to do a walk down with both on turbo. The Wuben's going to be my left, so it'll probably be shining more to the left. And the Thrunite to the right. But I guess I can talk a little bit here since I got the mic. That's the Wuben. The Thrunite. The Wuben. I'll say it has a little bit more even beam. The Thrunite. Thrunite there. Like, that's the Thrunite. I can keep hearing a tree crack because it's getting cold. They kind of pop. That's the Thrunite. Make sure it's on. Yeah, it's on turbo. See a lot less candela. Now the Thrunite. The Wuben. All right, we got the T5 now. We'll talk about the end of the review. So, they're both pretty good. You know, these aren't 100% my style of lights, but it's good to have. 20 bucks, 25 bucks. But I do choose this Thrunite. I like the beam better, the UI. It has less RGB, but they are brighter. And I just prefer it. Just the charging port is doo-doo. I don't know why they don't make a good one. It's one of the worst I've tried. So that's one of the really negatives, you know. And these aren't the brightest lights. You know, 500, what, 23 versus 400 for the Wuben. But I think you could tell the beam shots, this definitely has the edge throw and tint just a little bit. Might not pick it up, but it's a little blue. It's probably picking up worse on camera, but real life is not too bad. If I'm looking, like, you know, straight ahead, I can't tell. But the Wuben's a little floodier. The UI is a little worse. That turning knob, I'm not a huge fan of. Even like the X4, I'm just not a huge fan of it. I prefer a button. This Thrunite has a really good button too. I'm surprised. The mode switching is good. To switch, you know, it has the lockout, then white light, and then RGB. It's a little tough, so you got to use two hands. That's the only bad thing. And there's not a lot of cutouts on the switch itself to kind of, you know, align with the grooves in your finger. So it's easier. That's kind of, it's not a big deal, but you got to use like two hands. You can't just use one. Unless you got big hands, I don't know. My shits are tiny. Tiny, tiny little hands. But you know, they both have 180-degree head. All right, we got the Wuben again. You can see it kind of ramps up really quick. Ramping up, boom. So you know, it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. Should I have bought it? This probably not, but it's all right. It's 20 bucks. You know, plus I like to get out here, man. Anxiety and depression and shit. I got to do this. Even though nobody watches, but yeah, yeah. But if you guys have these two, let me know how you like them. I prefer the Thrunite. You know, just so I wish the Thrunite 2 had, and this, you can select different brightnesses for the RGB. Because the Thrunite, they're pretty bright. So, you know, if you're outside, it's not bad. But inside, you know, that red light's too bright. This one, if it'll go, is a lot less bright. So it's easier on the eyes. That's what I wish, you know, both of these had. But yeah, overall, I do pick the Thrunite. It's a little more expensive. I'd wait till it gets cheaper. I don't know why. It's Thrunite, man. It should be cheap because they're a budget brand. Even though I think, you know, the Wuben is like 25 bucks. Or it's supposed to be regular price, but yeah, I don't want to take too much time on this. I already did. These just really aren't my style too much. But I'll say it again, it's good to have at least one. You never know when you'll need it. Working on a little project, you got a little 180-degree light. You know, I'd choose something like the EDC09, obviously, over these, but they're different. They're small, tiny, lightweight. You know, these both have built-in batteries, so that's a negative. Always will be, but I'll still buy. Because the Flashaholic, you know, you'll get a new one. You know what I'm saying? Even old lights, they've messed up a lot, so, or that battery doesn't hold the charge, so It is what it is. But all right, that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching.